Hi, I'm here with the beautiful and talented Michelle Evans, past Groom team member and an icon of our industry from New Mexico. We're here at the Andis booth today with this beautiful poodle. What's her name?
Her name's Kelly.
Her name's Kelly, and Michelle's demonstrating the Pulse Ion Clipper by Andis today, and we're going to get some good tips from her on how to properly shave a poodle's face. Over to you, Michelle.
All right. So yes, this is our new Pulse Ion Clipper. It has a lithium battery, good grip. It's heavy duty. We made some improvements on this as far as how sturdy the blade is. It shows the adjustment on the blade and on the clipper itself, which I really like, but especially I just like how it feels in my hand. So we're just going to give her a poodle face. We're just going to shave her muzzle first.
And what blade are you using?
I've got this set on a 15.
And is that the blade that you usually use on most poodles?
Yes, it is.
And with that small little blade, it's quite easy to get there underneath their eyes.
It is, and it stays cool, and it lifts hair really well. I love the angle at the end of this blade. It picks up hair really nicely. I'm able to skim quite lightly, which is good for her because she's obviously sensitive.
Yeah, a little bit touchy.
Yep, so we're just barely skimming her. And
it's almost like she's ticklish.
Yeah, she acts like she is, doesn't she? So you just want to go across the bridge of your nose. The only time you'd ever want to make a V there is if you're trying to accentuate stop on a dog. So we're just going to go straight across on her because she's just fine there. I'm going to go from the corner of the eye to the ear opening. And you can see how smooth that blade will go across there and take that off.
Yeah, you don't have to go over it again.
No, it's really, really effective. So you get up in there and just clean up your line real good.
So can we talk about the importance on pulling the skin tight? Because I notice with every move you make, you're pulling skin with one hand while you're clipping with the other.
That's true. It just keeps she especially has loose skin, so it just keeps the clipper from snagging the skin by keeping it tight.
Especially that little flue underneath their lips. We'll show probably just in a minute here the best way to grab that skin and pull it tight. She's being a very good girl.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, you can see how I'm pulling it tight down here with my thumb. And then I can just skim across that with my blade and get right in there and get that out there. She really is ticklish.
And that flue underneath is very important because, you know, a poodle's face, it's all about expression. And if you're done clipping its face and you're done its haircut and it goes to pant and it has an inch of hair hanging down, it's really important to focus on that.
And that's when it shows up too, is when they open their mouth. It'll pop right out. So, very good. All right, so then I'll show you how to set your V on your throat here. You want to be sure to have your dog's head parallel to the tabletop when you set the V.
And what she means by parallel to the tabletop is your dog needs to be facing straight. If you have your dog turned around and you set that V and then the dog stands up straight, you're going to have a crooked line.
Or if you hold their head up high and then shave the V and then put the head back, it's too wide. So you want to keep the head parallel to the floor or the tabletop when you're doing that clipper work.
It's a great tip. So you keep on referring to the V, setting the V in.
You can see where my finger goes in here in the throat. Just right here. Right there where you can see where my finger falls in. Right before that is where I'm going to stop my V when I'm shaving. So
and that's a huge question for groomers, is how far down does that V start?
Right, you want to just start the V right above where your finger would fall in right there. Just right above it. And it's different on every dog, and you just have to use their body as the guide.
So if you had to go above their breastbone, is there a rule of thumb kind of to vaguely go by?
It really depends on the dog. I just usually go by the throat to see how their throat is.
Okay.
I also shaved the ear tab here, so that's nice and clean, and this drain is nice and clear, and that's actually where I started my V, came down to just here, And she could go down just a tad farther right here. So I'm going to use my clipper as my guide for my V, because I can use the two corners of the clipper to make the V by using the clipper here for one side and here for the other side. And that'll actually make a V quite easily for you. So then we'll show you the other side of the muzzle here. Can you switch sides?
You bet.
And I'm snagged on that. There we go. Right there. She's very ticklish on her face. That's great. This piece of equipment, though, is so cool and so quiet and lightweight that I can't even imagine what she'd be like if I was trying to do that with a regular blade.
You got a 10? It's a 15. A 15? Yeah.
Good girl, Kelly.
It's being very, very good.
Good girl.
So like Michelle mentioned, you don't have to worry about how long it takes you to shave a face. This blade does remain cool the entire time.
Yeah, that's so nice, because depending on what's going on, if you're training a puppy or something, or if you've got a dog that's a little fussy like she is,
Yep.
it takes longer.
Yeah.
So it's nice that you don't have to worry if your blade is getting hot or not.
Yeah, and using it on puppies is so important. You don't want to make their first grooming into something they're going to have nightmares about. So having a nice quiet blade that doesn't rattle around a lot on their face is super important.
It is.
And this this clipper is extremely quiet.
Very quiet. So I'll try and see the other side of the dog here.
And we see you're going in all directions. Do you want to explain why?
Well, I'm just getting the blade in underneath the coat in whichever way it's going to pick it up the easiest. So the end of the blade has an angle, so I'm just trying to angle in under the coat, and I'm just using all different directions. I'm going to get her eyelashes there.
And when it comes to clipping dogs, the general rule is not to go backwards, but that pretty much applies to dogs' bodies, or does it?
Well, it depends. A lot of people use the snap-on combs. How about if we switch sides again?
Okay.
A lot of people use snap-on combs with and against. So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish and what kind of blade you're using. Typically, and even 7 blades. A lot of people use 7 blades backwards, like on sporting dog faces. So using blades backwards is very useful in a lot of situations. So that's pretty good for that. So again, I shaved the ear tab. I went right along this bone here. The rest of this would be trimmed with scissors, which I'm going to do a demo on scissoring the top knot next. The tab into the V. And so there you go.
One more question.
Yeah.
There's groomers that like a V and groomers that like a U. Is that a personal preference, or is it different for different dogs?
I think it's different for different dogs, and I think if you're going to do a U instead of a V, you should match it on your tail set. If you're going to do a V, do it on both, the tail set and the neck, and if you're going to do a U, do it on both. As long as they sort of balance, I think either one is okay.
Balance is very important with this breed.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So we'll get Kelly here all ready to get her top knot trimmed up, and we'll be right back with you.